Might as well start, right? This isn't a live stream or anything either, right? Us in this room. I can cuss all I want. I won't cuss. Oh, it is? Oh, really? So it'll be like online or something? Okay. At some point. I like the guarantee there. Cool. Word. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good to get started. So hi, I'm Austin Griffith, the Director of Research at Gitcoin here at ETHParis. This is Gus, my son, with the bucket on his head, just sitting there, sadly. I was trying to come up with something funny about these two pictures. My wife just sends me this one. So this was like him like yesterday. But this is kind of like what UX is like in the blockchain space. So that's the best segue I can make there. So about a year and a half ago, I got started in Ethereum and just fell in love. And the first thing that I did, I wasn't super deep into the space, so I couldn't contribute like a lot of other people in the space, but I could make kind of my version of art. So I kind of made this hand-painted blockchain game where you had tokens, and the tokens were craftable, and I learned how to do commit reveal randomness and deploy to IPFS and all sorts of really fun stuff. But what I realized was the UX was super clunky and the onboarding was really tough. Basically, to get anybody in, you guys know the drill. You got to have ETH, you got to have MetaMask, you got to do all the stuff that no one wants to do. And so I didn't have any users. So I feel like I'm kind of standing in front of it, but it'll work. So then I made another game. I made POGs on the blockchain, again, like commit reveal randomness. Collectibles were like ERC 721s. Again, really clunky UX, and I realized that we needed to do better with onboarding. So I started building a bunch of dev tools to make building better and trying to make packages that could make these a little less Web 3.0 and a little more 2.0. In this nifty hack, I started realizing that it's okay to have a little bit of centralization, and it's okay to, it's important that if someone lands on your game, you need to do a good job of reading from Infura and delivering something. Even if they can't write to the chain, they should at least be able to read from the chain. So then I discovered meta-transactions and how to basically abstract some of that stuff away. So meta-transactions, you've probably heard a lot here and around, are helping us abstract some of that stuff by basically the user who just has a key pair. It's really easy to generate a key pair. It's really hard to get ETH. A user has a key pair, they can sign a transaction. That transaction can then go to some kind of incentivized relay network that would deliver that on-chain, and they pay the gas, and then they usually get rewarded in some way. And then, I learned, I think the guy who taught me that is in this room, Mr. Alex Van de Zandt. I learned from him about a lot of that stuff. And then I kind of went off on a tangent with these meta transactions, and we made subscriptions for the LEET standard 1337. And basically it's like subscriptions on the blockchain. So you sign a meta transaction, and instead of having replay protection with a nonce, the nonce is actually purposefully replayable. So basically you sign one transaction and you ship it to a relay network, and then that will replay forever. And that's what's powering Gitcoin grants right now. So you can get onto Gitcoin grants and you can pick out some of these really great projects that need funding, and you can say, I will give them $10 of funding a month, and it will just run forever. And then what you do is you control that amount of funding with the approve function in the ERC20 standard. So you just say, give them $10 a month and a maximum of 100, and you can kind of adjust that along the way. Then I got back to the UX and the onboarding stuff that I'm trying to attack, and thought, let's quit using a bouncer proxy where we have this middle proxy, and let's actually just start really advocating that developers plug message signing right into your contracts. So instead of having this bouncer proxy that works kind of like an identity, let's make sure that everyone knows that it's super easy to just respect signed messages in your contracts. So if you're redeploying a new fleet of contracts, just use this EC recover, get the signer, and use the signer instead of the message.sender. Somehow you'll have to incentivize, of course. Sometimes you run your own relayers at first. But the mainstream adoption stuff, and Alex just talked about all this stuff much more eloquently than I can. but you want these ephemeral accounts to try to abstract away from MetaMask. If someone lands on the page, just give them an account. It takes a millisecond to generate. Use meta transactions to kind of abstract away the ETH and the gas. Just have them sign things, and then you put it on chain, and it's still cryptographically backed, but you pay for it. ENS, obviously get rid of those big hashes. Just give them a name. It's a lot easier to talk about a name, AustinGriffith.eth instead of 0x22e. Optimistic UI is another one that's kind of like a little bit more subjective, but you know when something's going to go through probably, and you can kind of work around that. Just make your UX really good. I really like the analogy you had of the clock. That was so dope. Okay, so I built this like once upon a time, and we did this live demo in Prague for DevCon, where it was a storytelling app where people could just write lines of the story, but no one had to have ETH. Basically, I was running a relayer and paying for people's gas. And it's kind of a funny story. Like, it didn't work. I was like live coding it, and someone in the crowd was live coding along with me, and I got to the end and got to the magic moment where you submit your line of text and it goes to the blockchain and you don't pay the gas, and it broke and it didn't work. And the dude in the crowd was like, mine works. And so I had him come up and I sat down and he demoed the rest of the app and it worked. It was great. And then kind of this kind of idea of emerging economies, and we kind of don't need blockchain or decentralization in the perfect world. So kind of like where in the world could actually use decentralization and actually really need it. And maybe we do here, and that's a talk we can have over beers sometime. But I discovered Igor's XDAI network, and the TLDR there is you've got, it's basically an exact copy of Ethereum, but you bridge DAI in. So you've got 5-second block times all the time. So every transaction always takes 5 seconds. You've got super low fees. Basically, it's like $0.0000001 to send a transaction. It's like you can send hundreds of transactions for a penny, and then it's pegged to DAI, so the cognitive overhead there is very low, right? You don't need to, like, my mom can know what 1 XDAI is because it's $1, and that's a lot easier to understand. Same thing Alex is talking about, just show them $1. It's a lot easier for anybody to understand. And so we made this wallet on top of that XDAI network that holds your private key in local storage, and I demoed it at DevCon, and we were just kind of like sending money around, and I realized that, like, oh, this might actually work. We could actually use this. So then we started talking about ETH Denver and the food trucks, and we realized that we could probably do something like we've never done in crypto before and have like thousands of people using a wallet in their phone without the onboarding of having to download something or the onboarding of having to buy ETH and stuff. So I started to do the cypherpunk speakeasies, which is I would print a paper wallet like this. On the inside is a private key, and that is preceded with some tokens. So you walk in the door and I hand you a private key. You shoot that with just your phone's camera, and you have a wallet ready to go. That was basically onboarding. Like it was like 10 seconds, and someone would walk in the door and they would have money on a wallet ready to go. They would walk up to the bar and scan the beer that they wanted, and then the bartender, this is the bartender's thing here, and so the bartender would see that they were buying the beers here, and they would get a beer, and it was that easy, and it worked well. You can see this is kind of a good way to explain kind of the network situation. So you can send ETH here, and you can move ETH into DAI here, and this is powered by Uniswap. And then you can move your DAI into XDAI here, and this is powered by the POA bridge. And then you can move your XDAI into Burn, which was the token of the event. And this is just kind of like wrapping Ether. So it's just like wrapped Ether. So you could go, all the way from your bank account in SendWire and ETH, all the way north to Burn, and then all the way back out at the end of the night to get your money off that hot burner wallet. So then we did it live at ETH Denver, and it worked pretty rad. So the TLDR there is we sold 4,405 meals, and the food trucks off-ramped about 40K through send wire. So they were paid in DAI. At the end of each night, the food truck would off ramp and they'd get DAI in their bank account. And the whole event, thanks to XDAI, cost about 20 cents to run. So total transaction fees, 20 cents. And the experience was smooth. Thanks. The experience was smooth. The onboarding is smooth. You can see this is basically the process of seeding a wallet right here. So this is crypto onboarding with the burner wallet. It's you shoot a private key, and this dude like tweeted his private key, which is kind of funny, but that happens. That's sort of like one thing we're learning is we need to do a really good job explaining like what's going on here, because a lot of people think they scan it and then it's off that key, and we were kind of chatting about this on Twitter today. It's like, well, I can give you a claim link, but then if you lose it, you can't get it back, but we'll find a better solution. I bet Alex will tweet at me later today with a better one, in fact. You can learn more about ETH Denver and the burner wallet, just Google it up. And so for the burner wallet, what's next and what are we attacking? We're sort of looking at these 3 different epochs. Basically, we've proven that we can kind of do a local coin at a conference, so we're gonna try to make that super easy for other conferences and other meetups to do the same thing. We'll set up kind of like a portal site that lets you just either you just kind of do it on your own. You can just kind of there's a paper wallet repo. You can print these things super easy. There's like a generate button and a print button and a generate button. I got really good at folding these things, right? I was like racing my printer to generate, print, fold, generate, print. So there's a paper wallet repo, so you can do this. You can run all this stuff yourself, or we're gonna have kind of this portal where you can white label the wallet itself. Obviously, all of this is open source and free to use, and bug me about it if you want to do anything, because I'm happy to help. But you can, with that portal, set up your own event, set up your own white labeled wallet, set up your own rules within the contract. We can help you deploy your own contract. That's basically Epoch 1. Epoch 2 is like this burner provider idea. So with my research, I'm always looking at how we get better adoption and how we get better onboarding. And so what I'm thinking is once everybody has 10 cents in their pocket or whatever on a burner, it's going to be really easy to put money into an app. So I think what we want to do next is basically if you land on a game like Gallias in the beginning slides and you don't have MetaMask injected, let's just slide down some kind of burner wallet that's your wallet within the app and shoot it 5 cents or whatever you need to run gas on at Gallias and just basically put that thing on autopilot and go. So we can take any legacy dApp, which is a weird thing to say because this is like new technology, but we can take a legacy dApp and we could wrap it with a burner wallet, and then you can fund that burner wallet and set specific rules in it, like don't ever ask me anything, just spend it until it's gone, right? And so that's kind of like the middle epoch, and then the last epoch is just like long-term adoption. Let's get this thing like looking great, working fast, translate it to every language we can, and just get it into all those markets around the world that can use this. So since we are kind of at the top of the funnel for burner wallets, like my mom can use a burner wallet, my mom can't use a lot of this other technology. So when my mom does have a burner wallet and she starts using it, what kind of like education and gamification can we build into it to help her out? So we talked about educating with seed phrases. I'll get to a really funny way to do seed phrases that I came from Alex and a couple other people. Obviously ENS, we could set you up so the gamification within the burner wallet could be really interesting. We could say, and who knows if people want to actually attach a name to a burner wallet, like kind of as a weird like burner. It seems like maybe you're buying drugs in Baltimore or something like that, but that's not exactly what they're for, right? So if you wanted to put an ENS on your wallet, this could be like, this is my white phone and this is my black phone or whatever like that, right? You could just actually set up the ENS like a instead of having the big hash, we could replace it with a nice name, basically. Solstice, oh man, Milty. Whoops. I think that was misspelled at ETHParis too, or ETHCC too, and I never changed it. So there's these levels of upgrading where we can upgrade you to ENS, we can upgrade you to a seed phrase, we can upgrade you to better social recovery, and then eventually maybe even a wallet download, just to slowly educate users into the space and how we kind of like educate about it. So here's the emoji seed phrase thing. So we actually tweeted this picture and got a ton of shade on Twitter. So maybe 6 emojis is not enough entropy for a seed phrase, but maybe 8 is, maybe 10 is. Alex You did more of a like a grid, right? Is that what it is? Cool. Yeah. So I can probably kind of demo this. So I actually have a seed phrase with 2 emojis. It's alligator fist bump. So it's a trick. So you have to basically start typing this thing. This little button hides it. So you have to start typing. We'll do a better job with this. This is in the advanced section. Obviously, my mom's not going to jump into the advanced section, so we're going to have to do the education better and make sure she knows like how to do it, like slide something down and say, okay, you've been using the burner wallet for a while, you have $40 in here, maybe let's protect it with a seed phrase. And gosh, I don't want to have to teach my mom about entropy, but we'll have to figure something out there. It's definitely something we're talking about, but this is not enough entropy, Mom. Don't use alligator fist bump, but you can do that in the advanced section. And it brings up a wallet with $5 in it. And now I just totally told everyone on the internet that. And there's a nice collectible there for anybody who finds it first. And yeah, it's a hand-painted Godzilla collectible in alligator fist bump. So let's go back to this. And this is also another idea. Along with the burner provider, we're thinking we can do sign-in with burner 2, kind of like this more OAuth-y kind of flow, where if you have a burner wallet within some kind of browser, some other external third-party site, and we just basically made a DAI wallet that uses the burner as like an API, and so the burner basically just gets access and has the site has the burner sign for it. So you can basically say, okay, I would like to sign this transaction, and you can pass it to the burner, and the burner presents it, and then lets you say, okay, yes, I do want to do that. And I think that was sign in, and then the second one is a send. My buddy Brian Ethier made this. He's been working for me for like a month for free, so I got to get this guy paid. But he just sent me this like 2 days ago, and I was like, all right, I got to throw this in my slides. But it's like OAuth, but with a burner wallet. The next thing is wire integration. We actually have that on stage right now. If you go to s.xdai.io, probably don't want to do that, but the point is it's going to be, very soon it's going to be deployed to production, so you will be able to go to the exchange. I almost did it before the talk, but I was like, I'm not going to deploy that right now. But, so here is that exchange we talked about earlier. Let me slide that over. So you can go from ETH to DAI to XDAI, right? But if you want to come in from your bank account, this is going to be really good for onboarding. Basically, you pull out your phone, you type in xdai.io, and you have a wallet. Then you somehow, and I don't know if we're going to do it on the front page if you don't have any money or something, but basically you can slide from $5 to $25. You can just hit buy, and it's going to bring up a widget that lets you type in all your information. I would do a demo that would be live, but then I would totally just dox myself, so I'm not going to type in my phone number, date of birth in here, and then debit card, but that's basically the input. You put in enough KYC that SendWire is happy, you put in your debit card, and you hit purchase, and within a traditional Ethereum transaction time, you'll have money here, and then you'll have to move it north into XDAI. That's obviously not the best UX, but we are working on these other solutions. My thought right now is that we deploy a contract to XDAI and a contract to Ethereum at the same address, and we drop money, and we tell Wire that that's our offloading address. So then Wire hits that contract forces it into the bridge, and the bridge sends it to that same address on XDAI, and then that contract sends it to your burner. I have like a weird little rudder going on there. Igor's giving it one of these. Well, so you've got to tell Wire, you basically have to give Wire an address in Ethereum to send the ETH to, right? And you can't give it the bridge because then they're going to send it back to that address. Yeah, go ahead. That's a much better answer. Yeah. I'm the UX guy. He's the technical guy. Okay, so how many people in here have a burner wallet? Pretty good, pretty good. About half and half, maybe? All right. Someone who doesn't have a burner wallet, we're going to do some onboarding here. So go ahead and pull out your phone, especially if it's an iPhone, it's a lot easier. Some kind of QR code reader. Alex, don't do it. I see you pulling on it. Don't steal it. I can see you doing this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a link. I'm going to roll just like $1 into this link. And so a QR code is going to pop up. So someone without a burner wallet should be able to scan that and get $1. Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Merrick, you already have one, don't you? You thief. Did you get it? Did it come through? It takes a while. So loading, this is why I'm trying to get. Yeah, it'll tell you. You got it up there? All right, you got $1? So that it was that easy to onboard you to the burner wallet. That's the key here. Let's do a couple more just because I think I have like 5 minutes. Is that right? Oh, no. So it works even better if you have the wallet before because you can pay the gas. But there's a special trick rolled into this where basically this is going to take you to the wallet, generate you a wallet, but then you don't have any gas to go claim this, right? So this is money locked up in a contract, but you need gas to claim that money. So what we do is send it to a relay network, and not just any relay. We're using the GSN. It's like a decentralized relay network, and there's a lot more talks on that, but basically this uses a decentralized relay network to claim this without paying gas. So you claim money from a smart contract without having to pay any gas. The relay, I pay the gas, right? Or whoever the relayer is gets paid a little bit to do it, and then they get paid for doing that. Yeah, if no one paid the gas, we'd be in trouble. Here's another $1 if anybody wants to get in on it. So yeah, use your, I see a lot of familiar faces claiming codes out there. This is supposed to be for onboarding. $1 by $1. All right, here goes another one. So someone who doesn't have a burner should get this. But basically, this is how easy it is to onboard someone. You can pull out your phone, you can wrap some money up in a QR code, you can put it out there. Someone just takes their camera as if they're going to take a picture, they shoot that, and they have the $1. The key is it's just super easy to use. You can send money in 5 seconds. I'm going to send you a collectible, Peter. So let's do that right now too. So we have collectibles. So I don't want to get too close to that mic or that speaker. Okay, so you hit receive and I hit send. So I have a ton of collectibles in mine, so it takes a little bit longer to load. Bad UX. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to send him, how about this mountain goat right here? This fine mountain goat collectible. Ooh. So this is actually my digital business card too. You click on it and it takes you to my website. So I hit scan, he shows me his receive code, I hit send, and then, so show your screen there. It'll right there. Yep, yeah, no reload or anything. Yeah, that's, ERC 721's on XDAI. I think that's it. Any questions? Okay. Reload's okay, it's local storage. But like different browser, different machine, it's not gonna save through. Basically, it's just there, it's ephemeral. It's analogous to cash, right? Like you throw $10 in your pocket, you go out for the night, like it sucks if you lose that $10, but that's why you don't have thousands of dollars in your pocket. Okay. Okay, so basically, so check this out. Well, I don't want to open it up. I would dox myself again. If you go to your MetaMask and you put it on DAI.poa, then you can have a good, solid, like your private key is in MetaMask, not in local storage. So basically, you go out for the night and you split a cab with a buddy and he shoots you $15 of XDAI to pay you back. You've got that just in local storage. You go home, Then you pull up your laptop, you have MetaMask and everything cold there, right? And you just pull up xdai.io there and just shoot it to that. So it's still quick to MetaMask, but it's just a lot more secure. But to speak even more to that, we're working on a native app that might make this a little bit better. The problem I have with native apps is it takes them freaking forever to iterate on anything. And maybe since a wallet is simple, we shouldn't be worrying about iterating so much, but right now that we're iterating just to make the UX solid, like we still have a lot of work to do on the burner to make it work the way I want it to, just nice and smooth and simple. But what we'd like to do is create a native app that has like a web view that lets us iterate quickly on the design, but then inject the private key and inject the QR code usability stuff. So you still have an app that's saved, but we can iterate quick on the design and stuff. Yep. Right. So we did have thousands of people using it at ETH Denver, and it didn't go down. But maybe Igor could speak to that a little bit more. You guys might have to have a couple beers over that one too. So he said rock solid and good enough in the same sentence, which I like. Yeah, sure. And that's a cool thing about, yep. With XDAI being so cheap, I can be deploying contracts and the user doesn't even know it, right? Like that rudder thing I was talking about with the on-ramping, I could totally deploy like some kind of social recovery multi-sig without this dude even knowing. So yes, we can totally do that stuff. Same thing with sending links. So this link, the link that you're getting, here comes another $1. The link that you're getting here is actually just a link that I could send to anyone. I can send it in WeChat and they're gonna hit it. It's gonna take them to a page that's gonna generate a wallet that's gonna do everything. Yeah, so you can send stuff through links. You can lock stuff up in contracts. It's a good idea, and it's something that we're trying to play around with to figure out how to best do it. But definitely, like, recovery is a big issue. I think that's probably, we gotta be quick. Yeah, the Sybil protection, it's funny talking Sybil protection, there's no like big picture best way to solve the Sybil protection. It comes down to the app itself. Like when we talk about making Gitcoin gasless, we're lucky in the sense of Gitcoin because we've got someone's GitHub token, and that GitHub token is like valid, and we can use that for Sybil protection. I made a sound app called Ether Jam, where like I use their Spotify account for Sybil protection. Thanks. Yeah, sure. Like rate limiting almost. Yeah. Good. Thank you guys.